Developed by the team who brought us Max Payne Alan Wake, the phenomenal studio Remedy bring us Quantum Break, the best-selling new intellectual property published by Microsoft since the launch of the Xbox One, and it certainly delivers.
We've passed every test, every inspection. We're about to make history, Jack.
Running on the Northlight engine, Quantum Break delivers fantastic gameplay and awesome mechanics, featuring a player-driven narrative where the player's choices affect the outcome, standout visuals and live-action episodic set pieces, which was a bold move for the studio, but I believe overall it pays off well as it really pulls the player in to a gripping story about time coming to an end. Quantum Break for me was a fantastic surprise. I'd had it sat on the shelf for over a year and thought it was finally time to give it a go. Remedy really know what they're doing. Fantastic gameplay, they are original, innovative and really know how to tell a story. So here today on DaVinci TV, we're going to count down those top 5 moments from Quantum Break. Remember, as always, there are spoilers ahead. Now let's get to it.
I've been fighting this fight my entire life and I saw us fail.
We'll die finding out.
Our 5th entry begins at Riverport University, right at the start of the game, where our best friend, Paul Serene, has invited us to see his brand new experiment.
Jack Joyce, in the flesh.
The esteemed Mr. Paul Serene.
Welcome home.
Paul reveals to Jack that he has indeed invented a machine that will allow us to travel through time. Jack's brother Will appears, stating that time is coming to an end. This experiment is a bad idea and we have to shut it down now. Though things just aren't quite that simple, Paul Serene is still in the machine, Jack and Will engage in a heated debate, and this is where things go horribly wrong. The core to the time machine collapses. Paul's still stuck in the machine, Jack tries to save Paul, Will tries to shut the machine down, but they're all too late.
No, I gotta let you out.
Time breaks, everyone and everything stops, and the only two which aren't affected is Jack and Paul. Jack is able to free Will, frozen in time. Monarch decide to crash the party, and Paul has no choice but to go through the machine. The Riverport University experiment earns our number 5 spot because it laid the groundwork which leads to a gripping story. Seeing time actually break and the results of that were awesome, and the implications of Paul having no choice but to go through the machine and the effect it has on the rest of the game. For everything this delivered and a great intro to the story, the Riverport University experiment earns the number 5 spot. With Paul Serene going through the machine, he has been to the end of time, he has seen it end, and he has come to terms with what he must do and will oppose anyone that gets in his way, including Jack and Will.
Sorry, Jack.
This Paul Serene isn't your best friend anymore, he is your sworn enemy, and with the company of Monarch at his back, he has every advantage. But with everything that happened to Will, Jack seeks revenge, and this is where we find him, at the dry docks. That blimmin' Littlefinger! Paul Serene escapes, and the ship's debris is crashing down everywhere. Though amongst the carnage, a time stutter occurs, affecting time, and the results are evident. Jack has to get out, escape the ship's debris before it's too late. Seeing time completely unbalanced and unpredictable due to the stutter was exciting, and it was visually impressive. For everything this moment had to offer, with Paul Serene slipping through your fingers, the time stutter, and the ship's debris crashing down around you, puts this in the number 4 spot. Our 3rd entry centres around Beth Wilder. Try your best to keep up with this one. You can easily get confused as there's a lot to deliver. I'll try my best to explain it to the best of my ability. Throughout the whole of Quantum Break, Beth Wilder has known that time is coming to an end and has done everything possible to prevent it. This initially started because she was tricked, sent to the future, and did everything possible to get back. though her only option was to chase Paul Serene through the time machine, and it took her even further back than the time she left. Now, with no other choice, she does the only thing she can, and that's everything to prevent the end of time, informing Jack's brother Will that time will indeed come to an end, meeting her younger self so that she is prepared for the events that are ahead and that she is ready, which leads to her infiltrating the ranks of Monarch, and this is where she meets Jack Joyce. Where Beth was tricked going through the time machine, Jack is eventually able to find her, but what has been mere minutes for Jack has been 11 years for Beth.
Beth? It's me. Hey.
Beth has given up on hope because no matter what she's tried over the past 11 years, all the pieces fall in the exact same places.
I'm gonna do this.
Oh, you still don't get it. It can't be changed. I've been fighting this fight my entire life, and I saw us fail.
Now they have only one option. Due to Beth's influence, Will was able to develop a countermeasure to the end of time, so they are going after it.
Hey, Will?
He's not here.
Entering Will's workshop, we eventually find the countermeasure, though it is locked in a safe. Beth just needs time to crack it.
Somebody's here.
It's Monarch.
Using your time powers, Jack deals with a Monarch threat, taking them down one by one, though upon returning to Beth, we have an uninvited guest.
Give me the device.
Dropping the countermeasure, it activates, but not in the way that it's intended. A massive field of chronon energy is released. Though this is where it gets interesting. For some reason, Jack is sent back to his original time and can still see entirely what's going on in what's now the past and can do nothing but watch.
No, Beth. Come on, move. Beth, get up. No!
Beth Wilder was a key character and a major focus of this game. Everything was against her entirely. After everything she went through, you couldn't possibly think it could get much worse. And then to see her have her life taken in front of you, helpless to do anything about it, was such an emotional and powerful moment. For everything this moment delivered and the emotional impact it had on you as a player puts Beth's fate in the number 3 spot. Our second entry is something you've never seen before. It's exciting, powerful, impressive, visually stunning and unpredictable. It's definitely a moment to remember. This is the Port Donnelly Bridge. With the end of time becoming closer and closer, time itself is becoming more unpredictable. And nothing displays this more so than when we try to cross the Port Donnelly Bridge.
Oh no. This is so bad.
A major time stutter occurs and it collapses continuously, coming to the point where time itself has become dangerous. Using your time powers, Jack must navigate through this extremely dangerous environment caused by the cargo ship crashing into the bridge. Though you have to be on guard at all times and pay attention to everything, as one wrong move and time will get the upper hand. Throughout your journey, you hear about the end of time continuously from everyone, but here is the first time you really got to experience it for yourself. This is what the end of time would be like. Absolute chaos. Crossing the Port Donnelly Bridge for me really was a fantastic moment. Experiencing a preview to the end of time, and that unpredictability led to some awesome gameplay. It was stunning to play through and you really felt like a victim to time. This moment is what Quantum Break is all about, so this earns the number 2 spot. Before we get to our number 1 entry, I think we need to do a little recap to explain exactly how we got here and how it all leads to this point. It begins by meeting your best friend and breaking time, then becoming sworn enemies and losing your brother, continuously dealing with the time fracture and doing everything you can to prevent it. Returning to the past yet again, though this time finding a way to save your brother Will and obtain the countermeasure. And throughout the whole of this, Paul Serene has been forever at your back, a thorn in your side. Though now we have found a way to save Will and obtain the countermeasure, it's finally time to fix the fracture and save time.
Alright, we'll go to the future. A little after your time of departure, before the fracture has stopped time permanently.
And let's not forget about Nick and his words of wisdom.
What are you, some kind of goddamn X-Men? Friggin' sick, man!
Will is stuck in a time stutter as Paul Serene appears. Suffering from time sickness and a lack of treatment, Paul Serene is losing control, gripped by rage, and is really losing his touch with reality. This is the final showdown.
What about your survival plan?
The lifeboat, Jack!
Paul Serene hasn't come alone. He's brought his Monarch troops with him. They're extremely skilled, so you have to be strategic here in taking them down, or you'll quickly become overwhelmed. Though Paul Serene doesn't merely sit back and watch. He's constantly firing time grenades with a huge blast radius and a one-hit kill, so be careful. In all, there are 3 different enemy waves here, with Paul Serene vulnerable at the end of each. Do this 3 times correctly, taking Paul down at the end of each wave, and you'll get the upper hand, beating Paul Serene. With Paul Serene taken care of and Will being released from the time stutter, it's time to activate the countermeasure. With Jack fueling the countermeasure, Paul Serene makes one final attempt to stop you. Though the energy produced from the countermeasure is too much, he's blown back and the fracture in time is fixed. Overall, the final showdown was a great ending to a gripping story. The battle with Paul Serene and his Monarch troops was a real challenge and genuinely hard. It really required everything you'd learned through the game, and those powers leveled up, as every wave became more difficult, and it was about positioning as well, as Paul Serene could finish you off in one hit. To see how damaged Paul Serene would finally become, the fact that Will is alive, and the fracture in time is fixed. Or is it?
Well, there's no reason to believe that the fracture isn't over.
Made for a great conclusion to the story, so the final showdown earns our #1 spot and our best moment from Quantum Break.
I'll come back for you.
So that brings us to the end of our video. Thank you very much for watching. Quantum Break was a bold, brave new idea for Remedy. They really knew what they were doing, and I really feel it paid off. I loved it, right to the very end. It was left open, so maybe one day we will revisit the world of Quantum Break and see what happens. Again, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, share, subscribe, follow me on Twitch at Cavinci88, on Twitter at Cavinci88, and I very much hope you check out some of my videos floating around. The subscribe button should be down there. I'm pointing at it right now. Let's have a look. I think it's there right now. And get a chance, get these other videos as well. You might enjoy them. Again, thank you very much for watching. Cavinci out, and I'll see you next time.